We are here for you.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
If you or a veteran in your life is experiencing thoughts of suicide, dial 988. Then press 1 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Just so excited for Panthers fans everywhere. The neighborhood is crazy. We were yelling from our couch as a family and walked outside where we normally ride bikes and walk the dogs, and there was just neighbors out in front in the front yards. Everyone was really excited, but really, and also just proud of this team, proud of the coaches, the players, everybody involved. It took the whole season. It took 17 games, capturing opportunities along the way to be in position for this, and we're ready to chase the next championship opportunity in front of us.
It's the Adam Gold Show. What is up, Panthers fans? Can't believe it happened. I actually can believe it happened because it's the NFC South. That's why it happened this way. My gosh. Well,
hey,
you get another week of football.
It balanced out from that garbage game with the Bucks. Thanks, refs. Sorry.
It's a close game.
It was.
It's a close game.
It was a close game.
I was conflicted. Real story, real talk here, because that's what we do. First of all, we're on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. You can watch the madness, and that's cool. And you can also contribute in the chat. And I will tell you that today, by order of the local constable. We don't have one of those, do we?
Not that I'm aware of. No, it doesn't.
I don't even know why I even said that. We will take phone calls.
Yes.
Yes, in the second hour.
Please don't cuss.
Second hour. No, we have a dump button.
I
You just
know,
got to
I'm
give us
just saying,
time to regenerate.
You gotta do it within a certain amount of time.
Channel your inner Chandler Rose.
I know.
Anyway, we will take phone calls in the second hour today. All right, so if you want to plan accordingly.
Prepare yourself.
Got your hot take.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers made the playoffs in the ultimate backdoor play. Mm-hmm. You lost the game you needed to win, but the Falcons beat the Saints. More importantly, the Rams mailed it in week 17, which enabled the Falcons to win that game.
Right.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
So you're in the playoffs at 8-9 anyway. But who cares?
We're here.
0-0 today.
Yeah.
So good for the Panthers. Good for Panthers fans. You get another week of football, and it's a team you have just beaten back in week 15. Was it week 15? Yes, week 15.
Yeah, anything could happen. Don't count them out.
Teams that make the playoffs, even with crappy records, 8-9 classifies as a crappy record among playoff teams.
Yeah.
They win playoff games. They don't always win playoff games. I don't even think they have won playoff games more often than they've lost them.
Yeah.
But it ain't unheard of to win a playoff game at 8-9.
And if you're a big gambler, this would be the week to do it. They're plus 460 right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The
plus 10.5.
Rams are 10.5 point road favorites in a playoff game.
Woo.
That is amazing. Anyway, so you got a shot. You have a game to play. And what we saw between the Rams and the Panthers 4 weeks ago was an entertaining football game in which Bryce Young and company won it late and then survived.
Yeah.
They survived a Matthew Stafford drive. Ultimately, there was a turnover that ended the game. But that was a very entertaining, well-played football game. You know, Stafford actually threw. I don't think there wasn't a turnover at the end. The 2 turnovers were early in the game. Stafford's 2 interceptions, right? Look, it was the Panthers have earned 8 wins. At the beginning of the season, I think most people, although Will Brinson, who will join us in about 20 minutes, Will Brinson guaranteed 11 wins for the Panthers. I kid, he didn't. He put 11 as the top end of the range,
the ceiling. And
we laughed.
Yes.
He laughed, but we kind of figured somewhere between 6 and 9.
Yeah.
For this team in terms of total wins. And what we said at the beginning was because the nature of the division was so up in the air. I mean, if you won 8, you had a chance.
Right.
It was an outside chance. And look, the Buccaneers had to basically go into an absolute nosedive. But remember, they were at one point 6-2 and finished 8-9.
Yeah.
They went 2-7. A lot of that was injury related, including to Baker Mayfield, but 2-7 down the stretch is very Oakland Raiders-like. I'm sorry, Las Vegas Raiders-like. Speaking of the Raiders, Pete Carroll, he was fired today. Raheem Morris, Falcons coach, fired today. Kevin Stefanski, Browns coach, fired today. I do find it interesting that the Browns kept their GM, who is arguably the worst in the sport.
Yeah.
And he will get a chance to hire the next coach.
So dumb.
The
cycle just keeps going.
I just don't get it, but whatever. Real quick before we start, even though it does appear that we have started, we have a website, or rather an app.
Yes.
So we have, for some reason, I haven't been here in like 3 weeks. So it's the 99.9 The Fan app. Mm-hmm. And I'm pulling it up right here. See, here it is. You can't tell. We have there it is.
And it's also behind you. There you go.
It is behind me. Very nice. There we go. It's there's a picture of me over there. Our friend Tim Donnelly. You can only see the little words there. Anyway, in the app we had a poll. This is the October poll.
Okay.
Will the Panthers make the playoffs?
Uh-oh.
I voted in this poll.
Did you?
Yes. Yes, 17%.
Oh, whopping 17.
No, 83%. This is my favorite thing ever in sports now is win probability.
Oh, yeah.
And when I say my favorite thing ever, what I mean is the most useless thing on the planet.
Sarcasm.
Is win probability. And yeah, I get it, but it's just it's an annoyance more than anything else. But back in October, and who could have foreseen this based on what we had watched through the first month and a half of the season? But only 17% of you got it right.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
So congratulations for that. All right, let's go.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
All
right. Let's get it started.
Couldn't run the ball. Could not run the football, which certainly calls into question a play call for later in the game. Missed opportunities. Xavier Legette dropped the pass.
Shocker.
Tenero and McMillan dropped the pass. Shocker. Unfortunately, that will have to correct itself. You can't be an elite wide receiver and drop the passes that McMillan drops. We all know what he can be. But he needs to catch the ball. You can tolerate a couple of drops a year.
Yeah.
Seriously. A couple of drops a year you can tolerate. But, man.
Ones that hit you in the hands.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
In these types of games, you can't drop the ball. So there were, and the Bryce Young interception in, second quarter. That floater on the right to the right sideline, from the left hash to the right sideline. That's no good because it led to 3 points for Tampa. It's 10-7. You've got the ball. Maybe you drive down the field. The worst part is he had thrown 2 great passes already on that drive. I think it was a third down throw to McMillan, and then the pass to Jimmy Horn down the left side where he was wide open. And, it's the catch where had it been Leggett, he would have clearly stepped out of bounds. But because it was Horn, he was able to keep his feet in bounds. Anyway, it's another shot. Maybe that was gratuitous on Xavier Leggett, who doesn't, to me, look like a featured NFL wide receiver. But the defense couldn't get off the field either. Baker Mayfield was doing third down elusive magic. There were wide open receivers. The bootleg that Carolina fell for, I mean, it's a great play call, but wide open in that situation. But really, it was more Baker Mayfield being the playmaker that we know he is. And Carolina could not get off the field, it seemed, on third down. I have questions. Flea flicker. 20-yard line.
What are we doing?
You're down 9. It's the fourth quarter. What are we doing?
Yeah, so dumb.
If your running game were gashing them, I could see it because now, oh my gosh, they're running the ball at us again. But it wasn't. I don't get it. As it turned out, it was a fumble, and you lost the ball completely. Does that cost you the game? Look, if you don't gain another yard, you're lining up for a field goal, and it's less than a 40-yard field goal. That would have cut the lead to 6, which means that a touchdown drive, which they ultimately did have, and of course that we don't know that would have happened. Again, what are we doing?
Yeah, make good choices.
I have a question. So you force the punt. You know you don't have much time left. I don't mind going all out for a block. But you got to have somebody back returning the punt.
Yeah.
And they eventually did have somebody release running down the field because, who was it, Tremaine? Right, the 87, the wide receiver? He ran down and eventually touched the ball down.
Right.
So the clock wouldn't run. So the ball bounced at the 8. It was downed at the 2. So it cost you yards, and it cost you time. Dumb.
It's precious.
Dumb. What are we doing? Like, if you return it, that costs you time too.
Yeah.
Right? But from the 8-yard line, if you can return it and pick up 8 more yards, that's better. You only needed a field goal. Anyway.
I tell you what, they can't do that with the Rams, though. They're going to have to play a super clean, super tight, excellent game.
All right. Now, from the head coach, Dave Canales, let's start with what the opportunity means, because I said this before. We actually talked about this. The ability, the opportunity to have a playoff game accelerates development. These games are hyper intense, and they accelerate development. You'll find out more about Bryce Young in this situation and more about Dave Canales in this situation than you would ever find out from a regular season game. What does the opportunity mean?
Yeah, it's about process. It's about our mentality. We talk about, attacking every game as a championship opportunity. And, over the course of the season, we stack together enough wins in our division, outside of division, to prepare us for this. And so now we take the next step. We kind of chop our season up into quarters and treat it like a game. You got the first quarter, second quarter, for one of our quarters had 5 games in it. But so we just have that mentality so that we can be on track to seize championship opportunities. And this is the next one. So we just have to go right back to work with our process. And, what it's meant is just, proving to the guys that if we have that mentality, if we do take advantage of opportunities and prepare ourselves each week like it's a championship opportunity, then good things will happen down the stretch. And we're in this position right now because of the hard work and that focus.
I wish you could, if you're not watching on YouTube, you missed all of my eye rolls at the championship opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth, man.
Yeah.
Why? I would love answers in real English. All right, now, are they ahead of schedule?
I can never approach any season going into it without the mentality that we're going to try to win the first championship first. And regardless of what it may feel like, or, for me as the head coach, as I'm asking the guys to give me everything they have and how hard they play, how hard they practice, what they put their bodies and minds through. It can't be anything less than the pursuit of that first championship. And that's got to be the mentality and the work that goes into it. So I don't speak to them any other way. I respect the work that goes into it as far as the staff goes and everything else. For me, there's no forecasting. We have to be right now. It has to be this game. This is everything. These are opportunities, beyond just the implications of trying to win the division, but for each individual player, their careers and opportunities, we have to regard every moment. It's too hard and it's too special to not treat it that way.
All right, that was closer to an actual digestible answer, because I'm sure they don't put timelines on it. I'm sure they don't look at it, and I said this last week for the one show we were here, that athletes and coaches in many ways, have the same mindset. You are able to convince yourself, and all teams do this, that if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to win. Whereas fans or people who observe, like us, we look at it and go, yeah, well, we're not very good. We're not going to win. They don't look at it that way. They look at it like, if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to win. And then we're going to win again and again and again. We can win. That's the way they look at it. So I appreciate what Canales had to say there. All right, now to the game specifically. There were missed calls. We all know this. There was the face mask that wasn't called inexplicably. I don't know how you missed that. You may think that Tetero and McMillan should not have been called for offensive pass interference. By rule, they probably got the call right, but it did seem a little light on the contact there. Defensive pass interference was an absolute joke. When two players' feet get tangled up, that is not pass interference. It just isn't. Yeah. There was no hand fighting. There was no preventing Cade Otton from trying to catch the ball. Like, the defensive back didn't stick his leg out. It was simply two guys running down the field.
Yeah, and Otton tripped over his own feet.
Yeah, whether it's his feet or even if it's, who was it? I don't even know the defensive back's name that was on the play. I don't remember which one it was. It wasn't Jackson. It wasn't Horn. Doesn't matter. Even if he trips over the feet of the defensive back, it's not pass interference. My theory, the referee on the play didn't actually see it. He only saw Otton go to the ground. Yeah, that's what I believe.
I don't think any of the refs were actually watching the game.
So, and by the way, we're going to get clarity on all of this from a former NFL official today in the second hour of the show. But the really horrible call happened in the third quarter? I think it was the third quarter.
Definitely the second half.
So, Carolina's driving, sort of. I mean, they're on the other side of the field, and it's a first down play, and Bryce Young throws, swings a pass out to Rico Dowdle. Like, I don't think it was intended to be a backward pass. I think the pressure of the situation just caused it to be a backward pass. But it was clearly a backward pass. At worst, it was directly down the line. That's a lateral pass, and that is a running play at this point.
And it also did not go out of bounds either.
The explanation was
garbage.
Silly. So Dowdle doesn't catch it. Should have been caught, but he doesn't catch it. But he picks it up, and he's got room to run.
Yeah.
But the official on the play blows it dead. He whistles incomplete pass. And then it's overruled on the field. They called it a backward pass, and they just spotted the ball at the 7 or for a loss of 7. So it's 2nd and 17 as opposed to 2nd and 10 if they go with the original call. But since they ultimately called it right, they blew the play dead. And after the game, Brad Allen, the referee, said the Panthers could have had the play redone because of an inadvertent whistle. Dave Canales, why didn't you do that?
They never gave us the option. They never came over and gave us the option. So they officiated it out there, and then they just put the ball down and basically, I got to go. I got to get my next personnel and play ready to go.
They never gave you the option. So, Brad Allen, how would they know?
Right. Yeah, after the fact, it's real convenient to
What
be
are
like,
we
well,
doing?
they could have done
So,
this.
here's my ultimate question is we have replay assist. So replay assist in the booth. Plus, there weren't a lot of other games going on unless whatever goes on in the control room in New York, I don't know, was there a golf tournament on?
Who knows?
I mean, I realized I was preparing for the hockey game. I saw that play live, and I was about to tweet out, I think the Panthers just got screwed here, but I ultimately had to talk. I think I was talking to Trip Tracy at the time. Whatever. It was close to the show. So I ultimately didn't tweet about it, but I could have because I had one in the chamber for that. Said I think the Panthers might have gotten screwed there.
Tweeted so much. I had
did
no
you?
voice by the end of the game.
Did you tweet?
Old school
Did you
Victoria
scream?
came out.
You scream
Oh
into
my
Twitter?
gosh.
What'd you do?
No. Well, there was plenty of noise in my house, but no. Old school Victoria came out watching the Panthers.
Excellent. Anyway, the Panthers got screwed, but here's my question. Did the Panthers backdoor in or ball don't lie?
Yeah, maybe football gods making it even.
Because, look, I don't know that they would have won the game. But, man, they got hosed. They did get hosed. I give Dave Canales credit because he recognized that they made enough mistakes where there's no guarantee they would have won the game anyway. Anyway, we're going to talk to Will Brinson about the Panthers, what happened with Steelers-Ravens at the end.
Wow.
That was wild.
What a game.
Aaron Rodgers went from crushed to elated.
I know.
I mean, that's quite a missed field goal to win a game.
I feel so bad for the guy.
I don't.
I mean, I know that's part of his job. No, trust me. Yesterday, I said this out loud. I feel so bad to a certain extent because I realize he's getting paid a bunch of money. But,
well, I mean,
but he's got
rookie.
to sit on that for the rest of the off season.
Yeah, and they think this kid's going to be a great kicker. Man, that's a tough start. All right, we're going to break. Will Brinson will join us on the other side. The playoffs are here. We will talk about them next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
As 2026 gets started, it feels like everything is right in college basketball because 2 of the 5 best players, and yes, best players, all ages, NBA draft prospects, however you want to play it, are at Duke and UNC. Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson are going to be one of the stories of not just the ACC, but the entire country in college basketball.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
My Carolina Panthers actually somehow made it into the playoffs. So that means that there are tailgates and watch parties to get ready for. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Blue Shark Vodka. And even if you're not a Panther fan like me, maybe you're a fan of another team in the playoffs or just a football fan in general and you like to tailgate, make sure you bring the cleanest, smoothest vodka made right here in North Carolina. You can add it as a mixer or take it straight because it's the shark without the bite. So go check Blue Shark Vodka out at your local ABC store today or visit them at bluesharkvodka.com.
Over 2.8 million Americans have served in our military since 9/11. Many have returned home with devastating injuries and few resources for them and their families. This is news correspondent Bob Woodruff. I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq in 2006. The military had my back that day, and they have each other's while serving. It's time we had theirs. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative. To learn more, go to gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
When students struggle in school because they are hungry,
or fall behind because they lack school supplies or clean clothing.
Being greeted at the start of every school day by the smile of a caring adult can make all the difference.
Especially someone from the community.
Someone who knows firsthand the obstacles students might be facing.
And what it will take to help them thrive.
At Communities in Schools, our site coordinators surround students with a community of support and remain by their side
to ensure that they have everything they need to engage in learning
and succeed in school and in life.
Access to technology, learning materials,
and even one-to-one mentor support.
We are there for them all day, every day. This is what Communities in Schools is all about.
Going all in for kids, in schools, in communities, and beyond.
To learn more, visit communitiesinschools.org. That's communitiesinschools.org.
I am Brinson. After I lost my mom, I was depressed and resentful. I couldn't find my way, but I am not lost.
That's right. I'm Tiffany. I work in behavioral health for youth advocate programs. Yeah, I empower Blessing with tools so she can see her strengths and set positive goals.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her.
We need YAP. The youth, they need strong support systems. I try to help the youth understand if you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
YAP gives communities alternatives to residential care, youth incarceration, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, nearly 90% of participants remain in their community. YAP works.
And now I'm finding my way and excited about my future.
Youth Advocate Programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn more at yapinc.org.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you're buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in the
Went
car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Panthers lost and won at the same time. We thought this might happen. Frankly, losing the game and still getting in does leave, should leave somewhat of an empty feeling. Somebody else did the work for you, but 8-9 is 8-9. The Buccaneers were 8-9. Falcons are 8-9. Somebody's got to break a tie. And the way it works is we take the combined records against each other for the three teams in question. The Panthers swept the Falcons. The Buccaneers went 1-1 against both. And there you go. Panthers and Bucs split. Panthers beat the Falcons twice. 3-1. End of discussion. So Carolina's in. Thank you, Atlanta. Real quick before we get to Will, we hate the Saints more than because I'm not a Panthers fan. We hate the Saints the most.
I mean, honestly, I've kind of always hated the Falcons a little bit
that's
more.
fine.
Yeah.
But now you like them.
Well, yeah, I unfortunately had to be a Falcons fan. I felt dirty the whole time, but
well, the dirty
but,
birds.
Hey, I know, right? It's appropriate.
All right. Here he is, the one and only CBS Sports senior NFL writer Will Brinson joins us. How do you take in the Panthers making the playoffs? Is it just like the ultimate backdoor cover or ball don't lie?
I think it's, ironically, the Panthers
And then the Saints managed to backdoor cover in those games while also losing and setting up the scenario for the Panthers to get in.
Right.
I think it's probably more like, I think it's just like you just sort of back into it's not a backdoor cover, you just backed into the playoffs.
Right.
And it tells you like the fine line between the NFL, right? So the Falcons, who helped the Panthers get into the playoffs, finished tied for first in the division, even after being eliminated from the playoffs on December 7th, but then winning out and then fired their coach today. Meanwhile, Dave Canales, who, if he'd been eliminated on December 7th and then won out to finish first in the division at 8-9, maybe he, instead of hosting a home playoff game, he's looking for a new job. It's a real fine line, and it's, you know, when you've got these division years where it happens like if not every year, it happens every couple of years where, you know, a team with a 500 or below 500 record wins the division, gets to host a playoff game. Like, you really have to take advantage of them. And I don't know that the Panthers did that because, you know, they got swept by the Saints. They had a chance to beat the Bucks and really, you know, couldn't close out in that game. But they made it. And now you get to host the Rams. You're a 9.5-point underdog or 10-point underdog, depending on where you look, against a team you've already beaten in Carolina once. So, you know, like it's they made it.
Yes,
they made it. I think that's all you can say about it.
I think, and I do think it is significant they get to prepare for one of these games, and I think it accelerates the development of Bryce Young, and maybe in this case more than Bryce Young. It accelerates Dave Canales's because, man, I did not love some of the decisions that they made late, but it is what it is. I don't get the flea flicker when you get...
The flea flicker is one of the all-time bleedery calls. I don't think I've ever seen a flea flicker called inside the 25. Like the entire point of the flea flicker is, and much less in the rain in a winter go playoff game where you're like marching down the field. Like that was a impossibly stupid call because the entire point of the flea flicker is to get you know, it's like a, you know, early game deep shot from, you know, like behind midfield where, you know, you're trying to catch the, you know, like you just really need to have some open space for a flea flicker. And to do it in that area is like, it's in the rain where like people, you know, the running backs have been slipping left and right and you've been moving the ball down, just a horrible call.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, like that call right there should have cost them the playoffs. and maybe should have got, I mean, like if that call, if the Falcons don't win, and the Falcons could have easily lost.
Yeah.
If the Falcons don't win, that call, that flea flicker may well cost Dave Canales his job. I hope he reflects like heavily on that over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you know, that's maybe why he didn't scream, rant, and rave about, hey, you guys just cost us 7 yards on a play that you blew dead. No ball went out of bounds on the backward pass thing, but he was too busy getting the next play call in and the next personnel group because, you know, the Panthers wanted to keep alive their streak of not running the play clock down. Will Brinson joins us as he does.
They operate so slow.
Yeah, they do.
It's like it's sort of like the criticism that gets thrown at Sean Payton, who's like an all-time, you know, great play caller, is that like they run the Broncos run too slow because he's getting these long play calls in. I mean, like Bryce Young is like furiously clapping his hands with 2 seconds left on the play clock every time in a close game. That's a concern. I will say, I mean, look, the Panthers won 5 games last year. They won 8 games this year.
Yeah.
Now,
getting better.
You don't like they're not going to win 14 games in 2 years, more than likely.
Right.
But you know, like you made the playoffs. I think if you're ownership, if you're management, you know, you can have concerns about what you're doing. Like, you know, if like you can have concerns about the quarterback position for sure. I do wonder a little bit if like this kind of growth, you know, 3 games last year, 3 games this year, sort of puts you in a tough spot from a managing the quarterback position long term. But we can talk about that later.
So here, my feeling is that the jury has not yet come in on both positions. I am more up on Bryce than I am on Dave. I think Canales, and I think the doubts that I have manifest itself in not only the ridiculous flea flicker call, but you got to have somebody back receiving the punt. You can't let the ball bounce and get downed inside the 2. Yeah, I mean, what if that punt is short, right? And it rolls for 25 yards. You know, you did have somebody running back, which means that you understood. I didn't understand, and if you're going to rush 11, you better get to it. I don't know how you rush 11 and not get close to it.
It really felt like the Bucs are going to get a safety there to cover. It really felt that way. Right? Anybody who had the Panthers plus 2.5 certainly had to feel that way.
Will Brinson is joining us here. But we still saw some good things. I didn't like, obviously, the Bryce Young's interception. That was a left hash, right sideline. Late throw, ball kind of floated on him as well, and it led to 3 points. I mean, to me, that's the real mistake that Bryce made. The other stuff I really liked from Bryce. I thought he threw the ball well. Every time that they allow him to go, I think it shows that he can do it. And when they try to be too conservative or try to get cute, that's when things go sideways. But I did appreciate the way things went. Look, I think the Rams are. I know they're the 5 seed. I still think that they're the best team in the NFC, but they're going to have to do it on the road unless we have a whole bunch of wild cards win. But I still think they're the best team in the NFC. We'll see what happens. Although the Eagles, whatever happened yesterday notwithstanding, I'm not sure the Eagles, the way their defensive line is playing, I'm not sure the Eagles don't have a claim to stake at.
And quite frankly, Seattle. I mean, if Sam Darnold, like the way that defense played against, San Francisco's offense. San Francisco's offense has scored like 35 points a game plus over the last month, and then to just really shut them down. Yeah, I thought Darnold played well enough. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Darnold's going to be, pressure game in the playoffs to get the bye. That's great. But yeah, I agree. I just think a great defense is going to go a long way in this particular. It does anyway in the NFL, but go a long way in terms of, just the chaos that can kind of ensue in the way these brackets are set up. Where you do have some great quarterbacks, but you got a lot of young quarterbacks in the playoffs, and maybe a great defense is just able to turn some of these young quarterbacks over a lot, get pressure on the veterans. Whether it's like Houston against Josh Allen or the Eagles against Matthew Stafford or however it works out. I think having that elite defense is going to go a long way in this postseason.
We have a whole bunch of elite defenses here, whether it's Seattle. I think the Eagles, because of their defensive line.
Eagles,
so good. But you've got the Broncos, you've got the Texans. There are elite defenses in this. And, Pittsburgh with TJ Watt back is just a little bit different as well. Will Brinson joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I'll ask you to make a few picks in a minute, but first, the way the Steelers and Ravens ended was absolutely bizarre. First of all I was thinking of as I was kind of seeing the score, because I was otherwise occupied with hockey, seeing the score going, I expected Steelers-Ravens to be low scoring because weather and all of that. And if you had the under, and I think it was 41.5 or something like that, you had to feel really good halfway through the fourth quarter, and it's still 13-10, and then it all it just went the other way. I mean, nobody covers? What? Everybody falls down? Nobody covers receivers? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was a third. The first bomb to Zay Flowers was a 3rd and 1 where, one busted coverage, but also they were sort of thinking run there from, and there's 8.5 minutes left. You're kind of thinking whoever's going to ball last year is going to have a chance for a field goal to win. I mean, I guess that ended up happening, but in much different fashion than we expected. And then, The Steelers, vintage Aaron Rodgers, marched down the field, scored a Kenny Gainwell touchdown run after a couple just close calls and last play of his career coming up. Followed by an immediate jailbreak, another jailbreak for Zay Flowers, who had, I think, 115 receiving yards in like a 3-minute span and 2 touchdowns. And then, the Steelers go back down and you have Chris Boswell, catch a pass from Calvin Dawson catches a pass from Rodgers with under a minute left. The kick is, I think it was ruled a block kick, but it looked kind of like a miss. And then Luke, then you had the bomb down to Likely. I mean, it was just a crazy sequence of events. And the NFL is very good about this. They know which games to put on that Sunday night capper.
Yeah.
That was the game you wanted. That was the exact game you wanted, even if it was a slugfest from 3+ quarters, and then all of a sudden you just get chaos. It's part of why they changed the rules on offense. It's part of, or defense. It's part of why they changed the rules on the kickoff, because they want chaos at the end of these games, and they got it.
I'll tell you what, the emotional roller coaster that Aaron Rodgers was on, sitting on the bench after the Jackson pass to Isaiah Likely got the Ravens to the 20, which was a great throw and catch. You could just see Rodgers, his heart sank. And I felt very bad for him, said no one ever. And because he could sense this season ending, and he did not want to go out for a 3rd straight year not making the playoffs. And very likely it's it. I mean,
when NBC is laser locked in between shots of Rodgers and shots of the Ravens offense and replays on Chris Boswell, because they know that his missed extra point is the first one of the year. And if you think NBC's locked on Boswell and clearing at him, what do you think the entire Steelers team is doing? It's just are you kidding me? You felt bad for Boswell. You felt bad. I felt bad for Rodgers, just watching if this is how he goes out, it's brutal. And then Tyler Luke, the rookie, gets up there and just mashes one to the right.
Blocked it.
Just completely blocked it. And maybe, I think they showed clips afterwards, but there was a priest in that end zone putting holy water down
before the game.
Steelers, before the game. I mean, it worked.
That was tremendous, absolutely tremendous. So good for the Steelers making the playoffs. I don't know how dangerous they are, but Houston's defense is elite. But now I'm thinking Pittsburgh, Houston, playoffs, Aaron Rodgers that could be fun. Because Rodgers in the playoffs just is fun. I hope he has a throwback moment. I really do, because I think it's fun to watch Aaron Rodgers play. Great, but I don't know if I'm rooting for him. All right, so have you mapped out how you believe the playoffs will unfold?
Well, I stick. If I've got a chance to stick with my preseason predictions, I'm going to go with it. I got Rams and Bills getting there, but I will say. So I think the Rams beat the Panthers this week. I think the Bears hold serve against the Packers as a small underdog at home.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying that I'm going to pick the Bills to get there. I kind of want the Jaguars to make a deep run. This Jaguars team is really fun. They're likable. People made fun of Liam Cohen for the Duval thing before the season,
right.
And here he is. Just unbelievable run down the stretch. So my heart. My head is saying Bills. My heart is kind of saying Jaguars, oddly enough. I think the Eagles' defense, the problem for the 49ers is if they play a team that has a good defense, their defense, the 49ers' defense just can't stop anybody. They really needed to get the bye in order to set themselves up. Pats, Chargers, I'll take the Pats at home. And then Texans, Steelers, man, I think the Texans either lose to the Steelers in the first round or make a really deep run because
I
of that
agree.
defense. So
I think if Houston wins the game, they're going to end up in the Super Bowl.
I was going to say that. I don't think that's that crazy. C.J. Stroud's been in the playoffs before. The defense is the best in the league. So then you kind of got to figure out how that all plays out, and then lowest seed plays the number 1 seed. If you're Seattle. like you don't want to see, I guess Seattle wants. I kind of think you want Green Bay and not the Rams. Maybe you want the Rams. I guess you want the Rams because you've been toe-to-toe with them twice. So
right.
But it's going to be a tough matchup, regardless of who
I'd
they
rather play Green Bay.
If
I'm Seattle, I'd rather play Green Bay than the Rams. Again, I think the Rams are the best team. I think the problem for the Rams is ultimately having to go to Philadelphia, which I think ultimately that will happen. I like Green Bay to beat Chicago. Third time in 5 weeks that one of the all-time rivalries in the sport will be played. Here's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Whoever loses that game will have lost out, and their last win would have been against that team.
Oh, that's a good stat.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to steal that and use that.
Packers haven't won since beating Chicago, like in week 15, I believe.
Yeah.
December 7th. And Chicago lost this past week. It's obvious it would be a far less lengthy losing streak, but it works out well just the same.
Lost 2 straight to close after beating the Packers on December 20th. And you're right, the Packers' last win December 7th against the Bears, which I mean, not great for the Packers, who have given up some points down the stretch. Obviously, you throw that Week 18 game out, but I mean, gave up 41 to the Ravens. 22 to the Bears, not crazy, but then 34 at Denver. So, without Micah Parsons, the Packers is the matchup you want. If you're Seattle, you're rooting for the Packers to beat the Bears.
Right. You would much rather, and I think that will happen, but I think the Bears have had an incredible season. Real quick, before I let Will Brinson go, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com, Raheem Morris out. That was curious to me. Kevin Stefanski out, but the GM, Barry gets to stay. I don't understand that. Pete Carroll out. Why did they even hire Pete Carroll? Did they think they were making a playoff run? I don't understand who's running that team. And Jonathan Gannon, who I'm not surprised because I think Arizona at times looked like they were trying to lose. Any of those surprises to you?
I think the Raheem Morris thing kind of a shocker, but I think they're rebooting the front office completely, and they wanted to get Kerry Fontenot, the GM, out of there as well. Matt Ryan's going to have a high-profile position with them, and I think for the Raiders, Pete Carroll, 1 year is tough, but I mean they were lethargic. I mean they were
terrible.
Beat the Pats in week 1 on the road, which is a crazy outcome now in hindsight. Beat the Chiefs with the 4th-string quarterback at home in week 18, and 1 win in between. That's tough to stomach. I also think with the Raiders specifically, you have the number 1 pick. It's likely to be Mendoza out of Indiana. At the current moment, obviously that can all change in the pre-draft process. But, there is something to be said for let's go find an offensive-minded coach to pair with our first-year quarterback, because we've seen it with, now Trevor Lawrence, finally get the coach right and you see what he can do. You see it with Caleb Williams in year 2 with him and how well he's done and the turnaround you can have. And so I think it's let's not burn a year with Mendoza and Pete Carroll trying to run this run pass offense when we can go out and find somebody who can maybe maximize their talents.
Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com, still has a Rams-Bills Super Bowl. Rams win it?
Rams win it. Matthew Stafford, MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, as I predicted many, many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
You are a gentleman, sir. Appreciate your time. I will talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Talk to you next week, man.
You got it. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. When we come back, one-timers, questions, and answers. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government. As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
Is he married to a person or just himself? Because I feel like that's very Aaron Rodgery of him to have the twist in there.
It's a very good question.
So, I don't know. We still don't know if it's a person.
Would he get down on one knee to ask himself over an ayahuasca?
Yes.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. We're going to do one-timers here, but just as a bit of promoting ahead, coming up in hour number 2, in about 30 minutes roughly, your opportunity to jump on the radio and ask questions, like a Panthers version of one-timers live on the radio. We'll try it. I'll give you the number now. 919-860-5326. That's 5FAN. 919-860-5FAN. 30 minutes from now. Let's do one-timers.
Okay,
Okay, so with one-timers, I know it's a new year, so maybe we have some new listeners. You can put it in our YouTube stream, or you can at me on Twitter, V to the Victoria with some underscores, because that's where our first one comes from. Mitch wants to know, should the Panthers provide a gift to Atlanta's fired head coach?
Yes. First of all, Raheem Morris is a good coach. That to me was a strange firing. But yes, what would we get Raheem? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I have no idea I don't know what he likes. I don't know, like, where does he shop? Where does he eat?
I know.
Is he a fan of Panera?
True, yeah.
So he's good. You got me a Starbucks card.
I know.
Let's get him one.
Yeah, they have really good egg bites there.
They do.
I love their
They do. I don't the cake pops though. I ain't paying whatever for that.
Yeah, I haven't had those.
It's not even a bite. It's not even a full bite. It's like half a munchkin.
Probably like $5 too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Get out of here. Miss me with those.
It's ridiculous. So yeah.
I don't know why I was talking about it. I apologize.
I don't know. Who knows? But next up, this one comes from our YouTube stream. H. Sadler. So have we learned anything about keeping coach and QB yet? And this is about Panthers, I'm assuming. So
no, and honestly, even though I'm not a Dave Canales fan, they're not getting rid of a coach who just took you to the playoffs. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And the quarterback, I mean, you're not going to, you're going to pick up his fifth-year option, but you're not going to sign him to a long-term deal after 3 years. We don't know what he is.
No, we don't.
I mean, I think he's better than most people do, but that doesn't matter. I'd be cautious with it. So, yeah, let it play out. You got one more year to really figure it out. That's it? No more?
Well, we don't have time for that.
Okay.
Maybe next hour.
All right, so we're going to do it. Remember, about 30 minutes from now, live on the radio, your phone calls, Panthers edition of One-Timers coming up. Also, we're going to get into the refereeing decisions.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Let me put Thursday and Friday on your calendar because that's the day that FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost for every college playoff game day. More chances to level up your picks, find more value even in the favorites, and that leads to bigger payoffs. Ride with the favorite, take a chance on the underdog, your choice. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. It's a profit boost for every customer, every college playoff game day. FanDuel, 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops, win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. A real friend. The kind of friend you want to thank. And not just with a card or a text, but with a song.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
From your friends at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis, but this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/sendusin.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
One little side funny story. My brother called me after the interception, the D. Alford interception, and he's like, he's ready to celebrate. And I was like, call me back. I was like, this ain't over. If I'm on the other side, I'm thinking we got a shot here. Let's go down and get the first points, onside kick, and see what we can do. So, but it was amazing. We all yelled like crazy, and just really, really fortunate and proud.
Man, it had to be strange, though. The disappointment of losing the game in Tampa. And then you go, well, still might work out for us.
What a roller coaster of emotions.
Yep. I mean, such is pro sports, man. That's just exactly what it is. All right. Let me set up this hour. First of all, it's the Adam Gold Show. We are here. We are live on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, and you can watch the show live. Then there's a chat box. You can contribute that way. Coming up in about 25 minutes, we will open the phone lines against their better judgment. And we will talk to you directly, take your questions on the Panthers. So I want to throw this question out to the masses. And there are plenty of other things to discuss. But if you're a Panthers fan, are you in on Dave Canales? Are you in on Bryce Young? Are you in on both? Are you in on neither? I don't know what the right answer to that is, but we can have some discussion about it. Also, in about 15 minutes, Jim Daopoulos, who's a former NFL on-field official and supervisor of officials for the league, he will join us to talk about 4 plays, 4 calls that were varying degrees of egregiously bad, all that went against Carolina in the game. We will get his take on those 4 plays. The face mask that went uncalled, the offensive pass interference on Tedero and McMillan, the defensive pass interference that awarded the Buccaneers a first down fairly deep in Panthers territory, and of course, the backward pass that was completely screwed up. So we will talk about those 4 plays because I think Panthers fans had justifiable beef with the officials. Doesn't mean it cost you. It doesn't take a win away and turn it to a loss because it wasn't like you were in great position. But those calls mattered. They were bad. They took away. They made it more difficult, and the Panthers just weren't good enough to overcome those 4 calls. But it didn't, like, turn a win into a loss, but it certainly made the win more challenging. All right, so we'll talk to you, 919-860-5326. Hang on to the number. Jim Daopoulos is going to join us in now just a little bit more than 10 minutes. All right, let's rerun some of the things that we had to get to. We'll start with the Panthers. We had a lot of other things over the weekend, including the Carolina Hurricanes. I'll mention that here in a second. Dave Canales had an interesting Sunday after the loss on Saturday, watching the Falcons and the Saints, knowing that an Atlanta win erased the fact that they had just lost to the Buccaneers. Here's Dave Canales.
I'm just so excited for Panthers fans everywhere. The neighborhood is crazy. We were yelling from our couch as a family and walked outside where we normally, ride bikes and walk the dogs, and there was just neighbors out in front in the front yards. Everyone was really excited, but really, and also just proud of this team, proud of the coaches, the players, everybody involved. It took the whole season. It took 17 games, capturing opportunities along the way to be in position for this, and we're ready to chase the next championship opportunity in front of us.
Backdoored your way into the playoffs? Doesn't matter, man. If you think about it, at the end of the year, we just add it all up. 8-9 was tied for the best record in the division. We kind of thought the division would be, not great.
Three-way tie.
As it turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to the Rams, who not only lost to the Panthers, but lost to the Falcons late in the season.
If you want to keep losing, that's cool, too.
Yeah. Well, I want Will Brinson to be right. Anyway, good for Carolina. They got into the playoffs. All right. Carolina Hurricanes, sorry about that, went to New Jersey last night, beat the Devils. This is the one thing that we had not seen yet. We had not seen Brandon Bussey play poorly and then bounce back after that. Because that's the one element. We had seen him in 15 previous to yesterday was a 17th start? Yes. So in 15 starts, they were all varying degrees of, anywhere from acceptable to great. And mostly late, great, until the game against the Canadiens. Bad. And now we get to learn a little bit more about Brandon Bussey, how he reacts to a bad game. Well, 28 saves. I think he reacted pretty well. What say you, Rod Brindamore?
He's been great, and he had the other night was not great. To be blunt, he let in a bunch of not good ones, and then this, okay, how are you going to respond? And obviously he did. So that says a lot about him, and it's been a big part of this year so far.
I think Bussey's personality allows him. It almost makes it easier on him. I think he has a great understanding of who he is. He's obviously incredibly confident in his ability.
Yeah, and we know he's just a nice person, too, from being on the show. Just a nice guy.
And by the way, when I responded, when I let the team, thank the team for setting that whole thing up, and I said he is as advertised as just a nice man.
Yeah.
They were like, we see that every day. Every day we see just good human being. And I think, and I'm not saying if you're a good person, gives you a chance. Like, no, that's not the point. But I think his confidence coupled with his personality, I think almost makes it easier on him. He obviously is good at what he does. So, a great sign last night for Carolina, because to me, what it did was it cemented in their minds, all right, we can rely on him to at least, like, nobody's going to say he's going to be Andrei Vasilevsky, but we can rely on him at least to be good the rest of the way. And now, if I'm the Hurricanes, my plan is I got to get myself a third goaltending option. I can't have Caden Primo be my third option. I need somebody else to be my third option other than Frederik Andersen. And by the way, Andersen played well against Colorado. I thought Freddie played really well. I don't know who's going to play tomorrow against Dallas. My sense is that it'll be Bussy again, but I think Anderson playing well against Colorado will buy Carolina some time. So I'd love to see Freddie stack some good games together. They don't have to be great. They have to be good. You have to be able to win with him. And if they can do that, then Carolina's in much better shape. All right. I wish NC State basketball was in much better shape. At the beginning of the year, that roster is good enough to win and win a lot of games in the ACC. But you cannot defend the way they are defending and get away with it. There are a lot of good teams in this league, and State played one of them Saturday, 11 a.m. start, which is a little weird, but both teams had to start at 11, although you could argue that NC State did not start until afternoon because that first half was bad. Here's Will Wade, what attributed to the slow start.
I was surprised. I thought we practiced well. I thought we had a good routine this morning. But we just let our frustrations on offense carry over to the defense. We could never, they didn't blister the nets to start really. Either 2 of 7 from 3 to start, or 2 of 7 from the field to start. But we just let our frustrations offensively hurt us defensively. But, give Virginia credit. They bounced back after a tough game on Wednesday, which you have to do in conference play. And we didn't have the consistency that we needed to start the game. And we really didn't have it against Wake Forest either. Wake Forest wasn't able to take advantage of those situations like Virginia was today. And so, it's hard when you're playing behind. Give them credit. They had a lot of poise when we made our run and cut it to 8. I think they scored 5 straight baskets after that. They had a lot of poise and were able to answer our runs. And we just are still learning, to have the proper poise and everything that we need in those situations.
Wow.
Yeah.
On my bingo card, I did not have Will Wade sounding like a broken man.
Yeah.
But that's what he sounds like.
Much different from the last press conference he had.
He sounds shattered to me. I don't even, like that to me is, I've done it. I'm fed up.
Yeah.
We'll see how NC State responds in the next handful of games. Because their roster is too good to be this bad. Too good to be this bad. Virginia's good. Virginia Tech is good. Duke is good. Carolina is good. Louisville is good. Clemson is good. SMU is good. There are a number of good teams in this league. This NC State was supposed to be one of them. And right now, they don't look like one of them. And that's troubling. And clearly troubling to the head coach. All right, when we come back, Jim Daopoulos, who has been on this program before, we're going to talk about the 4 bad calls that nearly cost Carolina the playoffs. And I say that, understand this. And Dave Canales said it after the game. Just because those calls were bad doesn't mean that was the reason the Panthers lost the game. The Panthers did enough to lose the game on their own. However, it definitely made it more difficult. And we will get into those calls, and then we will take your calls. 919-860-5326. A Panthers version live of one-timers. Next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
As 2026 gets started, it feels like everything is right in college basketball because 2 of the 5 best players, and yes, best players all ages, NBA draft prospects, however you want to play it, are at Duke and UNC. Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson are going to be one of the stories of not just the ACC, but the entire country in college basketball.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. I care deeply about creating a world we can all fully participate in, free from stigma, misperceptions, and barriers. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Rooted in communities nationwide, Easter Seals helps empower millions of people, regardless of age or disability, through its life-changing services and powerful advocacy. Today and every day, Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Hi, I'm news correspondent Bob Woodruff. In 2006, a roadside bomb struck the armored vehicle I was riding in while reporting from Iraq. I sustained a life-threatening traumatic brain injury. The military term "got your six" means I have your back, and that day, our service members had mine. During my recovery, I learned firsthand the challenges facing our service members who return home with injuries. While serving, their fellow service members always had their six. Now that they're home, it is our turn. We started the Bob Woodruff Foundation to make sure that the camaraderie and support they relied on in the military carries on, and we need you. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative and help us be there for impacted veteran service members and their families. They've had our backs. It's time we have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org. That's gotyoursix.org, using the number 6.
Aunque no estás hoy a mi lado, yo sé que tú vas a llegar. Los girasoles nunca dejan de girar.
My name is Luis Fonsi. A lot of people don't know enough about Alzheimer's and dementias. We've seen it in movies, we all know somebody, but there's a lot of information that people still don't know. I'm personally still learning so much about it. I would say to those people who have loved ones who are going through it, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to put it out in the open, because it will be better for them and for their loved ones.
Con la certeza que respiro, te amaré.
Resources are available at alz.org and by calling the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 free hotline at 800-272-3900.
Football season's here. That means it's time to pick a side. Are you NFC or AFC? Thursday night games on the couch or Sunday tailgates with the crowd? Either way, it's time to gear up and get ready for the action. Fall is time to root for your favorite football team. Make Macy's your go-to destination for all your NFL fan apparel needs. You'll find NFL properties, Pro Standard, New Era, and more. Shop in-store and at Macy's.com.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's why.
The Adam Gold Show.
So one could say, and I know Dave Canales definitely took the high road here. Frankly, he made enough mistakes to where maybe the Panthers were more to blame for losing to Tampa Bay than Brad Allen and his crew. But Jim Daopoulos, former NFL on-field official, former supervisor of officials, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Before we get to the biggest controversy, I want to run through a couple of other plays. I don't know, some of these you might not have really spent any time looking at, but they were, I thought, at least 2, maybe 3 missed calls before we get to the backward pass that I saw in real time and went, why are they blowing the whistle? The first one was, and these are not in any specific order, the face mask that was missed on 2nd and long. How does an official miss when somebody rips a guy's helmet off?
You know, you're asking a question that I've asked many times to officials. How do you miss that? It wasn't a slight grab. It was an obvious grab. It had, you had 3 or 4 officials that had a good look at that, and I don't understand why, replay didn't send down and tell, one of the officials to throw the flag on that. That was so egregious that has to be called. He's going to be fined for that. That's just a flat out miss. And at this point in these games, with these games are so important right now, especially in the last weekend. You can't be missing those easy calls, and that's an easy call. That's not a tough judgment call, pass interference, hold, not hold, et cetera. That's just a blatant foul that has to be seen, and I don't know how they missed that.
Right. It's not only it's after the play. It's not in a crowd. These 2 players are there's nobody around them. It was close enough to where the ball was that I just don't know how you miss it. But it was missed. Whatever. We move on. And again, the Panthers made the playoffs anyway, so ball don't lie, I guess. The offensive pass interference called on Teterow and McMillan, I guess by rule, that's probably a good call. But, I mean, don't we see that every game not get called?
What you're looking for as an official is you're looking for advantage and disadvantage. Does the offensive player gain an advantage by doing something that is illegal, that puts him in a position to make a catch? And that's simply a judgment call. Unlike the face mask call, that is simply a judgment call. It could be the angle that he was looking at it.
Right.
Sometimes there's a little bit of acting done by the defensive player.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sold on it. I was okay with the call, but I would have rather let them play football, especially at this point in the season.
Defensive pass interference where the receiver, Kate Otten, the tight end, and the defensive back basically just got their feet tangled up, and Otten goes down. That, to me, was very curious. It almost leads me to believe that the official didn't see it other than Otten going to the ground.
That could be a correct statement. We are taught as officials when 2 players are playing the ball and their feet get tangled, it's not a foul. Now, you've got to really open up your field of vision. Sometimes you're looking up high to see if there's grabbing going on. Sometimes you're looking down low. But there's always 1 or 2 officials looking at every play and every pass situation. So, when feet get tangled, it's not a foul, then that's a foul that should not be called.
Jim Daopoulos, 11 years as an NFL on-field official, 12 as a supervisor of officials, and now we get to something that absolutely impacted the game because it affected points. Carolina's driving its 3rd quarter. It's 1st and 10, and Bryce Young is pressured, and he's trying to throw a swing pass to Rico Dowdle. Now, I don't think the intent was ever for that to have been a backward pass, except that it was a backward pass, regardless of intent or not. It was a backward pass. It was obvious on the field. Yet the official closest to the play blew it dead for an incomplete pass. The official across the field said, no, that was a backward pass, and they spotted the ball for a loss of 7 yards and 2nd down. After the game, Brad Allen said the Panthers could have had the option of replaying the down. Clearly, they were not given that option because you would never choose 2nd and 17 over 1st and 10. How does replay assist not get used on that particular play?
Well, I can tell you New York is probably asking the same question today. That's why you have 7 officials on the field, and that you have a replay assistant up in the booth to help out, and you have people in New York that
Right.
is supposed to sort this whole thing out. It looks like the ball was dropped a few times, both by Rico and by the officiating staff. You know, it really is a difficult call. It's really, you know, the call seems easy when we sit on TV and we stop it and we frame it and look at the direction of the ball, etc. But if you, as a mechanic for the official, the line judge has full responsibility at the bottom of the screen to make a decision whether that's forward or backward. And it's got to be clearly forward or backward. And it is so tough. I mean, really, and when you look at it, and you want to go with what is the intent of the pass. So you like to say, you know, let's call this a forward pass unless it's clearly, and it was clearly obvious that it was a backward pass. Now, you know, why they killed it, you know, you have the official at the top of the screen coming in and killing the play, probably not looking across the field to the other official who's given a signal that it's a backward pass. Just kind of a lack of communication by the officials on the field at that time. And again, you know, it's a egregious error. It's a inadvertent whistle. And Brad is exactly right. I mean, they had the opportunity to replay it, and why were they not given that opportunity? You know, you try to tell these officials on plays like that, let the play go through. You know, whether it's forward, whether it's backwards, we can always correct it. But the problem is when you kill it, you can't correct the correctable mistake there. And that's, you know, because Rico had that opportunity to pick that ball up and run if the whistles hadn't been blown. So it was an error by the officiating crew. But again, you know, Adam, as I said, at this point in the season, these officials, they can't be making these mistakes. These are not these are easy fixes on the field. These are not difficult. Bang, bang, you know, pass interference, not interference, holding, illegal block. It's not a very difficult call, and they have got to step up and stop making these calls, you know, because it affects teams. Now, what if this affected Carolina's ability to get in the playoff? There's an awful lot at stake with every call that these guys make, and they know it. They know that they're on they're under the microscope right now, but they've got to step up and make these calls.
Yeah, they if the Saints had beaten the Falcons, Carolina would have missed the playoffs. They backdoored it. And I'm not even saying that they would have won the game had all of these calls gone in their favor, because I would never do that. Sports is just individual games are weird. But clearly those all went against Carolina. But Atlanta did Carolina's bidding for him, so the Panthers are in the playoffs. Anyway, personally, I would have loved. I'm a big fan, or at least my wife is. It's her vanity plate. I'm telling tales here. Ed Hockley would have given us a 4-paragraph explanation of what happened, and we needed that. We didn't get it. But yes, it is my wife's vanity plate.
And it would have been correct. And he would have given you the correct explanation, too.
I appreciate the respect for the legend himself, Ed Hockley. Jim Daopoulos, former on-field NFL official and supervisor of official for a dozen years for the NFL. Sir, Happy New Year to you. Thank you very much. I promise not to call you out of retirement again.
Anytime, Adam. Enjoy doing it. You have a great season, and good luck to them in the upcoming games.
I love catching up with him. Appreciate his honesty, his candor, all of that. And for Panthers fans who felt aggrieved, and I was watching the game as I'm getting ready for the Hurricanes and the Colorado Avalanche, and I'm watching the game and going, well, that was a bad call. How do you miss the face mask?
Yeah. Oh, look, there's another bad call. Oh, wait, here's another one.
Ripped Tommy Tremble's helmet off of grabbed the face mask, ripped the helmet off of his head.
Yeah.
In close proximity to where the football was. Nobody had eyes on that?
Glad it didn't rip his head off. I mean, if you see it, his head literally goes back because there was so much force with it. It wasn't an oopsie.
It was 2nd and long. They ended up being like 3rd and 4. I don't believe or 3rd and 2. I don't believe they picked up the first down. Again, the details are fuzzy because I was otherwise occupied. I was blown away that that wasn't called? Like, what are you doing?
And it just kept happening, and it wasn't on both sides either. Like that, there's just so many bad things. It was bad calls on one team, not just bad calls on the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. For some reason, our friend Mac from Mac and Bone Show in Charlotte, Chris McLean, I don't know, I just happened to see all of his tweets during the game, and he was like nuts. He he actually said after the game, I'm going to go watch the Hornets to see if I can make myself feel better. And at that point, I went, all right, it's bad. Mm-hmm. It's really bad. All right, 860-5FAN, 860-5326. You want to talk about the Panthers? And did they meet your expectations for this year? Are you excited about the future? I asked the question before. Are you in on Dave Canales or not? Are you in on Bryce Young or not? Are you in on both? Are you in on neither? I don't know what the right answer is for you. For me, I think Dave Canales gets another year, but I'm not really team Dave Canales. I think the job of a head coach is to put your team in a position to win every week. Give them the best chance. To leave it up to the execution of what you do. And I don't believe Dave Canales has done that. I believe he has accomplished that a handful of times this year, but not very often. Yes, they have personnel issues, and this is where I will point to his best coaching job of the season. The win at Green Bay was, for me, Dave Canales' opus. That was where we're going to go there and we are going to try to slow the game down and frustrate the Packers. And he allowed Green Bay to essentially stub their own toe on Carolina. Carolina was the coffee table. The lights were off. Green Bay walked into it, stubbed their toe, and hobbled around the field for 60 minutes. And Carolina walked out of there with an improbable win. But then the following week at home against the Saints, it was coaching malpractice. You're better than the Saints. Don't play the same way that you played against Green Bay. So there's my take on Canales. I don't think he put them in position to win, to gave them the best chance each and every week. I am more team Bryce Young. However, I will put a caveat on that. I still don't know if Bryce is what you would want a normal first overall pick to be. I am not here to tell you that he is not that, but I certainly have not seen enough consistently great to say, yep, that's first overall pick. What I do think that they've got is a quarterback you can win with. I don't think he is right now as good as a Baker Mayfield. I think he has potential to be better than Mayfield, but right now I have not seen enough to say he is as good as Baker Mayfield. So if you are Team Canales, I'd love to know why. If you are anti-Bryce, I would love to know why. I will tell you this. The one answer that I do not think is acceptable is, well, he's 5'10". Bryce Young doesn't get passes batted down. Bryce Young throws the ball in the middle of the field. He's, I think, pretty successful in the red zone. I see bigger quarterbacks not throwing the ball well in the middle of the field. I see bigger quarterbacks not being very good in the red zone. I see bigger quarterbacks get balls batted down all the time. We haven't really seen that from Bryce. My two criticisms of Bryce are, I think he feels the rush too soon, and sometimes he is indecisive about where he wants to go with the ball. Those things, I believe, will correct themselves over time. So sometimes he creates pressure for himself by stepping up or trying to escape the pocket when there is room in the pocket from which to make the throw. And I think the pass to Teteroe McMillan that was intercepted yesterday is a prime example of Young not necessarily trusting the route or himself to be correct and waiting until McMillan is open. If you go watch that play again, 919-860-5326, you go watch that play again, McMillan is open. And even if the pass is off target, which it wasn't egregiously off target where it's not a completion. But if you throw the ball at the proper time, when McMillan turns, the ball is halfway there or more than halfway there. And McMillan has a better chance to be first to it and not the defensive back. But because Young waits too long, by the time McMillan turns, now the defensive back has a chance to close because it's just, and it was an off-target throw. But for me, timing is something that Bryce Young needs to do better. But here's a guy who's got escapability, who can throw on the move, and I think has enough creative flair to be a playmaker if he can correct those two mistakes and if he has a head coach that truly does believe in him. And right now, I don't believe Dave Canales truly does believe in him. And to me, that's a big problem for Bryce, but maybe one that Dave Canales can get over if he has success this week. I don't think this week is not a winnable game for them. I think they could win it. I really do. So for me, and this is where I've been saying for weeks, hand the ball to number 9 and say, go win us a football game. Because he has done it. He has been great in fourth quarters. We found this out last year. If you go and you look at Bryce Young last year, almost all of the best of Bryce happened late in games. Almost all of it. I mean, is he clutch? He certainly shows clutch tendencies. 919-860-5326. A Panthers live edition of, what do we call it, one-timers. Chris in Raleigh, how are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. How about yourself?
Excellent.
So my take on this whole thing is, Dave, I think I'd keep him because I think the problem is he doesn't have enough confidence in Bryce. I mean, he's proven in Seattle to be a good offensive coordinator of the call plays. He did the same thing in Atlanta with Mayfield.
Right.
I just don't think that those two gel. You know what I mean?
Canales and Bryce Young.
Yeah, I just don't think that he has the confidence in Bryce, and I just don't think that Bryce has the talent. I heard what you were saying, and I don't agree with some of that.
You are more Team Canales than Team Bryce.
I am, yes, sir.
Okay. What is it about Bryce that you don't think? You say he doesn't have the talent. What is it about Bryce that you don't think is good enough?
I mean, he doesn't put the stats up. When you have games that you have 60, 80 yards in passing.
Yeah, and 54 yards passing against Seattle in Week 17.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just don't – when you don't have the speed and, he's small, there's so many things. And I think he's very indecisive, right? And this took him a couple of years, and we're still year 3?
Yep, year 3, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time, Chris.
That's my opinion. I appreciate it.
You got it. 860-5FAN, 860-5326. He threw for 54 yards against Seattle. The game, At home against New Orleans, after winning at Green Bay, throws for 124. I would point out that the head coach controls the plays. So, again, to me, it's not an acceptable. He's small. I mean, he's been a pretty great quarterback his entire life. He's never been tall. He didn't just become 5'10". Jeff from Kelly. We need to know where Kelly is. Jeff, where are you?
I'm down near Elizabethtown and White Lake.
Okay, that didn't help me any, but that's good.
I'm about 45 minutes northwest of Wilmington.
Thank you. All right, man. Shouts to everybody down there. All right, Jeff, what's your take, man?
I'm not sold on the coach, and I'm not sold on Young, but what I think the one way to figure out which one is at fault is why don't coach give up the play calling to see what Young can do with a offensive coordinator?
It's a good point.
And that way, if he does good, then we know, okay, it was the coach's calling. If he does bad, then you know that Bryce Young just don't have it.
What's interesting to me, and I certainly think that Dave Canales calling plays, and I think it's gotten better over time. We've seen fewer pre-snap problems as the year has gone on than we did in the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season was like an extension of the preseason to me. So we've seen fewer of those issues, delay of games and things like that. They still wait for the clock hits 2, the play clock hits 2 and 1 way too often for my liking. It almost seems like they're rushing half the time. But I would just wish that he would allow, and I think there are times where he prevents Bryce from, impacting the game, that he's trying to be too controlling because he's afraid. He's afraid of the mistake. And what he sees in practice is obviously a lot different than what we see. So he may be right. I'm not saying he's wrong. But when we watch the games, I see a quarterback that, when given the opportunity, makes big throws and has done well in the moment. And what do we see? One-score games. The Panthers were 7-2 in one-score games. They actually used the quarterbacks for this. And Bryce Young has excelled in these moments. So it says that the moments are not too big for him. But I think skepticism in both areas, I think is good, is right. And I am. I think Bryce is good, but I don't know that Bryce is first overall pick good. And that's where I am. That's why you can't give him a contract now. And ultimately, he's going to have to go out and prove it one more year in order to do it. Are you confident against the Rams at all?
No.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Can you imagine, though, if they would have held on to those picks and waited one more year and got Drake May?
Yes, that's what they should have done. And it's my general feeling about quarterbacks is that, and this is not a Panthers problem, it's an every team in the league problem, is that you're desperate for that guy to the point where you will convince yourself that, this is the guy. And we have to go get him rather than just let it happen naturally. Even if you have to add a veteran quarterback as a stopgap, I'd much rather build the team around the quarterback, and then when the time is right, then make your move and get the quarterback. But boy, did the Panthers do it backwards. They had a terrible roster in year one, and the roster wasn't even very good in year two. The roster is obviously better now, but it still leaves a little bit to be desired. They can't pass block really very well, so that's still an issue for me.
They were not one quarterback away team from being ready.
They were 3 quarterbacks away. Thank you very much, and shouts to everybody down 45 minutes or so from Wilmington. Thank you. Let me go to Jared, who's on 540. I know where that is. Jared, what's up?
Hey, Adam. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well.
Thanks for the call, taking the call. I think, there have been bits and pieces that have been touched on. And, just like we talk about quarterback, let me get to the question first.
Sure.
So I'm actually pro both Canales and Young.
Okay.
That being said, I think that head coaches also have a learning curve that they have to come up when learning how to manage both the team and in Canales' position, offensive coordinator as well. Whereas in Tampa, he didn't necessarily have that same responsibility.
Correct.
And maybe had a little more freedom with his play calling. And that being said, with both Bryce Young and Dave Canales, I think along with Dan Morgan, this is the most freedom that the football team has had aside from ownership. And so there is, I think, a large learning and building block that is occurring. You can see from Dave's first year with Young to this year, where I think the future is extremely bright, and just kind of maybe I am the optimistic portion of the Panthers fans that continuously come back because the last game is typically the best game.
Well, I don't even know how to process this one because they made enough mistakes in those two play calls. Those two decisions at the end, the flea flicker at the 20-yard line and then not having a punt returner back are such red flags for me. But I think your overall point about Canales is, I think, a good one. And which is why, even though I'm not Team Canales, I mean, you can't move on from a head coach after he takes your team to the playoffs, even though they only had to win 8 games to get it. They played much better, given the week, they played much better as the season wore on. Heck, I didn't even think they played badly against Seattle. I thought they had a chance to win that game against Seattle, right? I understand what the final score, might have been, but I thought they were sort of still in that game in the second half. So I'm not even blown away, and I know Bryce Young only threw for 54 yards, but Seattle's defense is next level. It might be the best defense in football. And I think even to that point, sorry if I may, is that, and I could be wrong, but the last time that the Panthers lost 2 in a row was at the beginning of the season. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, except for the last 2 games, and some people will say, well, they didn't win 2 in a row either. And that's true.
Fair. It's all true, but to the point of the last game being the best game, technically we haven't seen their last game yet.
That is right.
That is right. So there is still hope out there, but I appreciate you taking the call.
You got it. Take care, man. All right. Do we want to do the breaking news sounder? Gio Lopez, we hardly knew you. Transfer portal. So UNC will be on the lookout for another quarterback this upcoming year. We'll see what Carolina is able to pull out of the portal. There was only 2,000 names, a little bit more than that, I believe, in the college football transfer portal. Yeah, if I saw that number correctly, 2,000.
It's a few.
There's 136 Division I teams times, let's just say, 50. If 50 per team, what is 136 times 50? I don't know. It's a lot of names in the portal. All right. When we come back, we will stretch and bets will be placed. Next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Wild card round is here, and FanDuel is clicking on into playoff mode. All customers can get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. That's right. Each game day during the wild card round, you will find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you, and it's all in the app, the greatest app ever known to mankind. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL? Go there, grab your Profit Boost pack every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local for the playoffs. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable Profit Boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
This season, make the choice to protect what matters most, you and your family. Choose to get vaccinated for the best protection from respiratory illness.
Talking with your provider about vaccines, hand washing, and staying home when sick keep your family protected from the flu, RSV, and COVID.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
Is he married to a person or just himself? Because that, I feel like that's very Aaron Rodgery of him to have the twist in there.
It's a very good question.
So, I don't know. We still don't know if it's a person.
Would he get down on one knee to ask himself over an ayahuasca?
Yes.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. We're going to place bets here in a little bit. It's not the first time in 2026, but Friday doesn't count. I like
know.
Friday's show. It
was like a soft opening of a restaurant or something.
Exactly. It's a soft open.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now it starts.
Yes.
It starts today. The account for 2026.
Right.
First, let's stretch.
Well, and you know, with the new year, a lot of times, not me though, People make a resolution, a New Year's resolution.
I don't do that.
I stopped doing that. I just, I have wishful thinking. That's kind of what
There you go.
what I like to
it.
call it. But Forbes, according to Forbes, only 1% of people actually keep their resolutions all year long, 365. And here are some tips to help you keep your resolution going strong. Apparently, I have not tried this, but it makes sense from reading it. So, number one, they say lower your standards. Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
some of us have already done that.
Are they also Panther fans? Because
wow.
Hey, I am one, so I can say that. But they say lower your standards, be very specific with what you want. Don't be too vague because that helps you narrow things down. Also, tie your habits to routines, not your motivation. So,
nice.
like, while you're making your coffee, maybe do, like, jumping jacks or something if it's a routine like that. Then also plan for things to go wrong. So if you make a oopsie, it's okay. No big deal. Just keep it moving. 4, track your progress and bring in a person to keep you accountable. That is key because if you have someone to like hold your feet to the fire, yeah, that's big. And then also, if you're making a big life change, maybe test out with a little leap versus having a big leap. So just in case you're like, you know what? I don't really want to do that anymore. You're not tied to it. Kind of like maybe not making huge bets instead of just little ones.
Little ones.
Place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
My theory with wagering is don't make it about winning money.
Yeah.
Make it about being correct.
Yeah. Just making the event a little spicier.
Yeah, and that's why it's no fun. If I wanted just to win money,
no,
I would bet favorites.
Yeah. That's never a good idea to do that. But
that's no fun.
I like when we're using our fake units. I like to bet against teams that we want to see lose. So Utah Mammoth, they're going to be in New York taking on the Rangers. Why not? Let's go Utah Mammoth, and I'll take the over 5.5 plus 260.
All right, Hurricanes don't play tonight. I don't have to worry about an emotional hedge or anything like that. So let me just give you a Super Bowl future. You know what the Panthers are to win the Super Bowl on FanDuel?
Oh, no, I don't know what it is.
Plus 22,500.
Yes!
Plus 22,500. San Fran plus 1,400 to win it all.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. Welcome to 2026. That's right. New year means resolution time. So here's my resolution to you. I resolve to help you save thousands of dollars when you buy a house or when you refinance your mortgage for whatever reason you need. You want to consolidate bills, you want to pull equity out of the home, you want to do some home improvements, you want to put the money in the kids' college fund, you want to take a vacation. Hey, it's your equity. You have access to your money, so if you want to refi, do it. And don't ever pay closing costs with Miller Lending. That's how I save you thousands and then hundreds when the rates come down, and they are coming down. When you refinance, again, free of charge, you'll save thousands and then hundreds. I love both. Miller Lending, since 1996 on Kildare Farm Road in Cary. They are an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 2502146.
Now, let's take a short break from our 8-hour ode to the oboe for a word from our sponsor, Mr. First Tuesday. Get your scratch-offs on the very first Tuesday. Looks like we've got a caller on the line.
How are you not more excited about new scratch-offs? There's millions in prizes.
Who is this?
Oh, this is Mr. First Tuesday. And by the way, it goes, get your scratch-offs on the very first Tuesday.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
A promise is potent. Born of intention, fueled by commitment. It's seeing things through. Always showing up. And we know a thing or two about promises here at Susan G. Komen. Over 40 years ago, we locked arms with you toward one vision. A world without breast cancer. By investing in life-saving research and standing up for patient rights, we are shifting the system so all people everywhere get the care they deserve. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to raise money to honor the best friend you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Ending breast cancer needs all of us. Visit Komen.org and be a part of the Susan G. Komen community today.
Back then, we'd spend nights in front of the boob tube. We'd take our same seats, smoke cigarettes, and watch until the station played. We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Rams crowd the line of scrimmage with a one-high safety look. Bryce off play action. Has time in the pocket. Throws downfield for McMillan. Makes the catch at the 20. He's got the 10. The 5. Touchdown T-Mac. Touchdown Carolina. And the Panthers take the lead with 6:34 to go.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Welcome to the program. Because I know we were here Friday, but it doesn't feel like we were. The first show of 2026. Friday doesn't count. This one counts.
Yes.
Although, for PTO purposes and whatnot, we were here.
Yeah.
Like, we came to work.
All right, we did.
Right?
There wasn't many of us.
Right.
But we did.
Like, no joke. You bring that up. Victoria producing the program today. So join us on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, either one. So I drive into the parking lot today. I got here about 20 after 9, and a little bit later than usual. And my first thought was, is this a gym?
Yeah, right. I know, which no one likes. No one likes to see a full parking lot at the gym.
What went on?
No one's me.
I swear that, I understand. We had some construction being done. I believe is the big dumpster gone? Or is it still here?
No, I think
it's still here?
I think it's still here. Know. Isn't that funny how your brain just doesn't notice things after a while?
Yeah, it's been here for long enough.
Dumpster for like a month or so.
Anyway, when I pulled into the parking lot, I'm like, man, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Here today.
Yeah, I got to park on the opposite end of the.
I'm all the way out under the trees.
All right.
So there you go. Welcome to 2026.
Yes.
All right. In a few minutes, Brian Geisinger. We are going to talk college basketball. I went to a basketball game on New Year's Eve. During the day, I went to Duke Georgia Tech. So I've seen a basketball game in person.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute. No joke. It has been a minute since I went to a basketball game that wasn't in a conference tournament. So we'll talk a little bit about state and their issues. Look, I think Carolina got beat by a good team on the road. It's going to happen. Duke has, I think, gotten away with two performances that are in my opinion, below their standard. And we'll see what happens tomorrow when they play at Louisville. And I know Michael Brown is not playing for Louisville, but I still think that's going to be a really, really hard game for the Blue Devils to win. Anyway, Brian Geisinger coming up in about 10, 15 minutes. But let's right now do the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, Panthers are in the playoffs. They are home underdogs.
Yeah.
Double-digit underdogs at home. 10.5 points is what I saw.
Plus 460.
Yeah. Good value. That's the way to look at it. Good
Great
value. Could they win the game?
Sure.
Why not?
They've beaten the Rams before.
Thank you. All right. Does Dave Canales care what the spread is?
Hey, that's what it is. I don't know how they come up with those numbers, but I'm sure they have algorithms for us. We can't worry about that. We just got to worry about playing our best football. That's been the pursuit. We have to get back to making sure we're efficient on third down, get our run game going, offensively speaking, and defensively finding ways to get off the field. And, I see a defense in our defense that continues to learn how to play together, trust each other, play with leverage and physicality, and we got to just continue to build off of that.
All right. There's a lot of players on this team, Dave, who have never been in the playoffs.
It's a fantastic opportunity. Again, as much as we try to preach to our group, every game is a championship moment. Every game is a championship opportunity. Here it is right in front of us now. We're in the playoffs, and to try to make sure that our focus doesn't waver or shift like you have to do anything that you haven't done before. It's about the basics. Football this time of year is about tackling. It's about blocking, and it's about being really efficient. And with each round, the pass rushers get better and better. Here come the Rams with the fantastic front five, the way they get after it, the way they play. These are the types of teams that are in the playoffs. And so matching that energy, making sure we're at our best has to be the focus.
I mean, it's kind of basic, but the most important thing right now is blocking and tackling. I mean, it's just, and maybe that's the case for every game, but
fundamentals.
We are going to see, man, if we had just made that tackle, we could have gotten off the field. Man, if we had just executed that block, that play could have gone for a first down. We're going to see it, and it is so basic, but it is so true. All right, speaking to, inexperience, it's Bryce Young and his first playoff start.
All the preparation, every single game, they're all steps in preparing for these types of moments, and it's really important to just be efficient. And it's the same. It's going to be the same message coming from me: is I don't need you to be special all game. There's going to be 3 to 5 opportunities in the game where you got to call it all up. Use all the tools that you have with your mind and your legs and your arm to make those plays when the time is right. And that can be early, that can be late in the game, but it's really important to understand that part. You don't have to carry this thing. You just have to do your part and be efficient and make the right decisions so that we can play our best football.
Hard to disagree with any of that. All right, now, the running game has not been vintage. Remember, there was a stretch where Carolina was pounding the ball, running it down everybody's throat. Well, it hasn't been that way. The running game was a liability against the Buccaneers. It just wasn't very good. Which even makes it more curious that they would try a flea flicker never mind. Here's Dave Canales on why the run game has struggled.
It's a full group effort. Starts with me and the coaching staff, making sure that we have the right plan together for our guys. And then it starts up front with the O-line, the blocking, the combos, making sure we're moving guys off the spot to get the play started. And then once the backs have the ball, just looking for that violent style of play that we saw, that we know they can, and return to that and make sure we're getting efficient runs on a consistent basis.
All right, one more thing from Dave Canales, then we'll move on. One more Panther-related thing after this, but from Dave Canales. You beat the Rams. I mean, wasn't that long ago. Does it matter?
We had good information. Use the information from the first matchup to see, how we were trying to attack and to react to different scenarios, and make sure that we're on top of that, and obviously expect, there will be some wrinkles, and we understand that part of it. But when you play a team the second time, there should be a little bit of confidence for things that are similar, things that that they may try to recreate in some way, shape, or form. And, and the fact that we were able to come away with the win should give confidence as well. If we do our job, if we do right, and we play well together, we can win, but it's going to take all of our focus and all that. And, we certainly have seen them, bounce back and really, get back to playing their rhythmic football and Matthew taking care of the ball, the run game going the way that they see it going. And defensively speaking, they've been really consistent. And so we just have to take all the information in from these past couple of weeks and make sure that, we revisit some of the things that were successful for us and also just be ready for adjustments.
Here's the way I look at the fact that you played the Rams and beat the Rams. You can do it. The Rams, I don't believe the Rams played that poorly in that game. I think the Rams played not their best game, obviously, but a good game. I thought Carolina was exceptional. And it's going to take that type of an effort. You don't have to be perfect, but you've got to be dangerous. And I thought the Panthers were dangerous in that game. So they know they can do it. That's the benefit to having played and won that game already. But you're going to get different looks, different plays. I mean, the Rams will have a different focus. So everything that happened 5 weeks ago doesn't really matter. The only benefit is that there should be no awe factor. And that, to me, gives you a chance. All right, now, we've talked about this before when we're talking about Bryce, Dave Canales, what to do going forward. Evan Cohen, our friend from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, echoes what we were saying before, that you pick up the fifth-year option, but you don't go long-term contract right now for Bryce. Here's what Evan said.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Miami Dolphins were in the playoffs a few years ago with Tua. Is that right?
Yeah.
This feels a lot like that. Don't make the same mistake that they did. Be thrilled that you traded up to get the number one pick in the draft, and Bryce Young has gotten better every single year. On and off the field, high character guy, plays well within the system. Is he a superstar? No, he is not. At least not yet. Is he a star? Not yet. No. So you know what? Take advantage of all the rules which are granted by the NFLPA and the NFL, which allows you to franchise a guy and have him under control until you really are ready to make a decision. And if he, Bryce Young, is like, hey, wait a minute, I took you to the playoffs here, I want my deal, then unfortunately you're going to have to say, yeah, you took us to the playoffs. We were 8-9, and at times we were terrible throughout the season.
Find the lies. Find the lies. So, but I want to see what it looks like. It's an opportunity. It's a championship opportunity, isn't it, Dave Canales? All right, we'll take a break. We will come back. Brian Geisinger, why are the Wolfpack so meh? Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. 18 weeks of the regular season has got us to this point. It is playoff time in the NFL, and your Panthers will play the Rams again? That was probably the game that really got them into the playoffs, and all customers can get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Panthers and Rams, first game, Saturday afternoon, but you've got 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, for the wild card round. Pick the matchup you like. Have at it with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel.com/AdamGold. That's FanDuel.com/AdamGold. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
What is lost when a home is denied? When equality is cast aside just because the family doesn't look like you or cook like you? Or because they identify as LGBTQ? Maybe it's because of how they talk or how they walk? Make you struggle to find a lender because of your gender? It's not fair. It's not their place to reject you because of your race or the obstacles you face. Housing discrimination has no place in our nation.
Equal access and equal opportunity are core American values. Where you live can change your life. Don't let housing discrimination stop you. If you believe you've been denied a home because of your race, color, religion, national origin, familial status, disability, or sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, go to HUD.gov/fair housing. That's HUD.gov/fair housing. Everyone has a right to fair housing.
Times of transition, whether from a sad event or a joyful one, can leave us feeling adrift. Social connections are an important part of a healthy life. Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health. It can lead to high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain connections to people, not just in your family, but others whose relationships bring meaning to your life. Trying a new hobby, volunteering, exercising, even using your phone or other device to stay in touch with others. All these can be great ways to keep up your social connections and your physical and mental well-being. Visit connecttoeffect.org to see if you're at risk of social isolation and find ways to get connected. Presented by AARP Foundation with support from United Healthcare.
Right now at Macy's, it's the perfect time to start looking ahead to fall. Shop all the on-trend wardrobe updates you can wear now and keep wearing later, like flowy full-length dresses and easy lightweight layers like blazers, cardigans, and jackets. And Macy's has great deals on fall updates for every room in your home, like warm bedding and kitchen essentials. Plus, download the app for exclusive savings, inspiration, and more today at Macy's.
This is Adam Gold.
See Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We'll talk more Panthers in a little bit, but I know it was an 11 a.m. start. My guess is part of that was TV. Part of that was the Hurricanes played a hockey game that night, although they have started games at 1 and been done in time to get the arena ready for the Hurricanes. But NC State did not start on time. That's a hockey term, but they did not. They did not get the memo that it was an 11 a.m. start, and they got themselves run out of the Lenovo Center in the first half against NC State. I'm a bit concerned about this team, especially since when I listened to Will Wade's postgame, he sounded like a broken coach. Brian Geisinger, our basketball maven, genius, guru, 24/7 Sports joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I saw BG over the week. I don't know if it's all Saturday when you're off for 2 weeks. I saw him at a basketball game at the Duke Georgia Tech game. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. It was good to see you, man. I had not seen you in a while physically. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you, Gold, and everyone else. And yeah, it's been a long time, so it was good to see you at Cameron North. It's been, I feel like, years. So
it has been. I definitely. You were surprised to see me there.
Yeah.
I was surprised to be there too. We'll get to that later. What do you make? Because I know you go on and you do live post game pods with Corey Smith on Pack Power now. It's no longer Pack Pride. It's Pack Power. What do you make, A, of the struggles for the Wolfpack, and B, the fact that Will Wade sounded so beaten from this latest setback?
Yeah, well, I would just start by saying I think I've been trying to like practice patience with State so far this season, and not go overboard after some of the more disappointing losses, and obviously the performance out in Maui and Auburn especially weren't great. But this to me was sort of like the first time it really felt like the alarm bell was starting to ring a little bit more. And it should be stated, like, Virginia is really good. Like, this is like a really, really good two-way basketball team. They're missing one of their best players, Jakari White, but they're like 8 or 9 deep of guys who are all like good to very good rotation players in the ACC, with maybe a couple sort of like fringy, NBA prospects. And they play a style that's really tough. Like, they take away the rim defensively with drop coverage and elite pick and roll defense. And then offensively, they've got a lot of different stuff they can do, and they've got good positional size. You think of, they've got DeRitter and Devin Tillis and Sam Lewis. They've got all these guys that are 6'7" to 6'9", 210 to 250 pounds. And for a team like State that wants to switch a lot, whether it's 1-4, 1-5, they've got all these guys with size who can also shoot and really pass. And I just felt like Virginia's collective combination of strength and shooting and decision-making was sort of like on display throughout this game. I thought Paul McNeil played pretty well for State, but I also thought Sam Lewis, who shot a great ball for UVA, also did an excellent job, closing out to McNeil and chasing him around screens. And Paul hit 3 shots in this game. They were all when Sam Lewis was on the bench and Malik Thomas was guarding him. So I thought that was sort of like another key battleground area, because McNeil's shooting is sort of the thing that like really raises the ceiling and gets the crowd into it and just sort of like lifts everyone. And to me, it felt like Virginia really had a plan in place to like make sure Paul wasn't going to hit a bunch of 3 and ended up hitting 2. So yeah, I think it's tough for State right now. They have not figured out the offensive flow with Darian Williams. I assume he's healthy, but man, he just doesn't laterally. He doesn't look good defensively. He's getting beat to loose balls, even if you go back to the Wake Forest game. And they really lack, sort of like supplementary playmaking when Matthew Abel's been struggling, and then, Trey Holloman gets hurt in the first half, and you don't have that as well, too. So, look, there's no shame in losing to Virginia. It's a really, really good team. But for it to happen the way that it did, and just sort of like the vibe of the last 6 weeks, it's been pretty bad. So, I don't know. They've got some time to sort of like build some confidence and better habits, the next 3 games. But they're going to have to pick it up, and they also can't avoid, they can't, pick up a dumb loss here either, too. So,
right. Well, the next 3 games would all be dumb losses. I mean, literally, the 3 worst teams, according to the net, the 3 worst teams in the ACC, Boston College, Florida State, and Georgia Tech, the first 2 of these games are away from home. None of them are quad 1 opportunities. These teams are all ranked over 100, as is Pitt. So they would be bad losses no matter where these games are played. They can't really afford bad losses because unless they plan on winning, a lot more of those, good games. And right now it's hard to put them in that category of, I'm pretty confident that they'll win a lot of those. They can't afford the bad. Brian Geisinger is joining us here. Will Wade stressed defensive improvement, and maybe that's not the best way of putting it, because he was critical of their defense even in wins. a few games ago. When Virginia shoots the way they did, and they get offensive rebounds the way they did, and then I know they're good at getting to the offensive glass, but when those two elements are prevalent and lead to getting down by 20 points in the first half at home, what does that – I mean, what are your thoughts? What is he thinking about? Like, maybe they don't have the makings of a good defensive team.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think they've tried pulling a lot of different levers throughout the season. I mean, they start off the first month and they're switching everything, right? It's 1 through 5, and they're switching literally everything, on ball, off the ball, everything. And basically, since like the Auburn game, they've really mixed up coverages. And they still switch a lot, certainly 1 through 4. But on 1-5 screens or screens involving the center, they're usually having Lubin or Sanye hedge and recover. States also, they tried mixing in different zones and doing different sort of stuff after timeouts. They press a fair amount as well. And just none of it's really worked. What else can you say? Like they're like a solid defensive rebounding team for the most part, but they don't have elite rim protection.
Right.
They force a decent amount of turnovers, but they're not elite on that end. But for me, the thing that's sort of like been the biggest concern with them, whether they're switching, whether they're in rotation and hedging ball screens, to me is that like the connectivity and the communication of these individual defensive lineups is not there. You've even seen them try to go bigger and play Sanye with Lubin together. Those guys were platooning at the 5 to start the year. Now they're playing some minutes together. But if you want to play these approaches, like you've got to like really rotate on the back end. I think I've been talking about this since November. Like they've just never felt fully connected, like they're rotating on a string. There are breakdowns, there are miscommunications, and that's even before you get to guys like, Darian Williams gets taken off the dribble, or State's in a mismatch, and so UVA gets to get on the offensive glass or whatever. I just think they have been like way too leaky. It's way too easy to get straight line drives. It's way too easy to get cut opportunities against them, and they've just never quite had the formula down, other than maybe the Liberty game. Like it's hard to think of another, like a full 48-minute defensive, performance that they've put together this season. So yeah, to me, it's really been connectivity and communication have just not been quite there from the jump this season.
The weird thing is, I think the best game I think they've played is the overtime loss to Kansas.
Yeah.
To me, that's probably their high watermark for a performance when you throw in the competition. And I don't think this is vintage Kansas, or at least it wasn't then, but it was still a very good team, and I thought the Wolfpack played very well. They just didn't come out on the winning end. So, yeah, these got to be wins against Boston College, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. And for State, they have to get confidence from them, which means that the performance has to be there as well as the result. Let me ask you about the Blue Devils, since I was there watching Georgia Tech at one point shooting 71% from three-point range. That's not just from the floor. From three-point range, it was remarkable. And I thought Duke's defense was there, but not there. You were close, but you weren't really up in them. They didn't feel you as a lot of coaches would like to say. And I didn't think they did a great job defensively at Florida State. So what do you make of where the Blue Devils are at this point?
Yeah, I do think FSU is going to be an interesting team to watch once we really get into conference play, because this is one of the fastest teams in the country. Luke Laux, he's got the NBA pace and space going. They shoot a ton of threes. I think 54% of their shots are threes this season. And so they're gonna probably surprise or overwhelm, whatever you want to say, a couple of teams in conference play, because they're just going to bury some opponents underneath a mountain of threes. They're not a great shooting 3-point team, but some nights just the shooting luck is sort of going to be in their direction, and they're just going to destroy whatever your game plan is because of it. But, yeah, I think, look, the defense for Duke, after looking incredible the first 10 games of the season through the Michigan State game, again, sort of similar, like not as connected, sort of like having, different communication breakdowns. You've seen them in many of these games, including the Michigan State game, but also FSU, like really having to lean on this 3-2 zone, concept with Dame Sarr and Malik Brown at the top, and against Georgia Tech, they even had to go to the super, jumbo lineup with Boozer, Brown, and Gongba playing together. I think right now they're struggling a little bit to find like a lineup that has like 5 like plus 2A players.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they want Sarr for his defensive athleticism and physicality and length along the perimeter. But prior to the FSU game, he'd been in a slump and just sort of like lost offensively at times. And then Amenia played well against Michigan State. Now he's been in a bit of a cold snap shooting the ball. And then as good as both of the Boozer brothers are, and they've been phenomenal this season, Cam's been probably the best player in the country.
Yep.
I mean, those guys are getting taken off the dribble, like repeatedly, or Caden's gotten lost off the ball a lot, and guys have run around for threes and back cut layups on him. But Cam, I mean, you've seen certain teams have just like isolated him and gone at him. Texas Tech is a good example of it, but that's not the only one. So like those guys are going to have to sort of like step up and handle their assignments a little bit better. And then the last thing I would say is like the get out of jail free card for Duke last season when the defense would get wonky was just like play Malik Brown.
Right.
And that does seem to not be hitting quite the same this season. So I don't know. But to me, it feels like there's levels for them to get better on that side of the floor, but they're going to have to pick it up quickly.
Yeah, that to me was alarming at just how easily Georgia Tech got to the rim. And it wasn't like the blow-bys were just wide open lanes. They had some tough finishes. I thought Georgia Tech was impressive. I pay attention to what Duke is doing, what State is doing, what Carolina is doing, not so much to what some of the other teams, especially the lesser teams, are doing in the league. I was surprised to see how mediocre Georgia Tech was. Like the team that I watched, they looked competent to me. I mean, that game was still in the balance, even though Duke kind of opened it up. They had like a 7-point lead for a lot of the last 10 minutes of the game. But as the game got tighter, man, Georgia Tech was there. That was a game that they could have put a lot more jeopardy involved with regards to Duke. I was impressed with the Yellow Jackets. Florida State did the same thing. That game was a 3-point game late. I wasn't able to pay as close attention to that as I was with some other things, but I'm just a little concerned about Duke's defense. I agree with you about the two wings between Dame Sarr and Nick Kamenia. I'm not sure that they have a player who is anything other than, hey, he was good that game. Like, I haven't seen consistency out of either.
Yeah, and I mean, look, those guys have absolutely had good moments this season. I think Sarr's defense has been impactful, and he's shot it well enough from the corners. And I think against Tech and FSU, like he showed a little bit of on the ball creation, which Duke was expecting to have some of that this season. And then he has a very creative player who can really pass. But obviously he's really struggled with his jumper in recent games. They've been going to the Caden Boozer, Caleb Foster sort of like double point guard lineup, and there's some versatility with that. And I think Caden helps them pick up their pace offensively and get Caleb off the ball. And that has some benefits for their offense. Yeah, but again, like Caden has his issues defensively too.
Yep.
That's sort of where like is Caden Boozer the third Jones brother behind Tyus and Trey? Like they fall apart a little bit on that side of the floor. He is a similar sort of approach to offense. So it's just tough. Like they're having to like piece it together, and until one of Hymenia and Sarr like really like just like clicks in offensively, or maybe Darren Harris, but he's pretty clearly the odd man out at the moment. they're going to have to just keep searching and hope that like one of the wings can like become a little bit more trusted outside of Evans, obviously, who's been not perfect, but still quite good this season.
Yeah.
He's obviously a very dangerous shooter.
He's still a little streaky, but if he can smooth it out and become more consistent, then I don't know, maybe Duke will simply be able to outscore teams because they can absolutely go offensively. When Cam's knocking threes down, I tell you, he's kind of an underrated player. Maybe I don't know if he's underrated or not, but I think Pat Gongba is a dynamite player.
He's so good. He's so good, and you could see. I thought Duke at FSU. I mean, they offensively they were very good in that game. You saw them really get to a lot of high-low action. It was, by my charting, it was the most high-low that they've gone to in any game this season. And then I thought down the stretch, them really going to a lot of these like interior triangle sets, where you've got Evans, Gongba, and Boozer, Cam Boozer, sort of like playing off one another in the middle and screening for one another, was good stuff. And something that they need to continue leaning on because they can get even more out of Pat Gongba. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah, and a good passer too. And he is whatever rim protection they've got. It's him. I have enjoyed him. I actually don't hate. I mean, I think have we seen any three bigs from them? I don't know if we've seen three bigs from them. Brown, Gongba, and Boozer. Maybe we have a little bit, but
Georgia Tech in the Florida game was another sort of like notable like game. Not like big minutes, right? But like they have gone to those guys for stretches when they've needed it, and it allows them to, when they play those guys together and they're in the zone, they can also play Malik at the top of the key, and sort of like mess things up. But obviously that has its own concern, sort of like spacing concerns offensively too. So it's not perfect either.
All right, next time we'll work the Tar Heels into this. Brian Geisinger, 24/7 Sports at @bgeis_bird. Happy New Year, my man. I will talk to you very soon.
Yeah, you guys take care.
Oh wait, Split the Action. Yeah, I got to go to Split the Action. What am I doing? Can't believe I didn't plug that for him. You want to become a smarter basketball fan, that's where you go. All right. Will Brinson will join me. We'll talk a little bit about the Panthers. All of that coming up. We haven't gotten to everything I wanted to get to. First day of the year. I'm very excited to be here. We'll talk Eddie Canes. We'll work it in. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And right now, FanDuel giving all customers, not just new customers, all customers, a profit boost for every college playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. You could ride with the favorite. You could take a shot on an underdog, build a parlay. Hey, it's your playoff world. FanDuel is the best place to get into the college football action all playoff long. FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local for the college football playoff profit boost today. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshIIP.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
Sometimes the simplest steps make the biggest difference.
washing your hands often, staying home when you're sick, and talking with your health provider about vaccines.
Help keep your family protected against the flu, RSV, and COVID. Simple steps, big protection.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Can I get a breaking news sounder? Remember last year, the North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year was Trip Tracy's
Yes.
Along with Anish Sharaf as the voice of the Panthers. So this year, because you are ineligible to win it 2 years in a row, this year, your North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year, Mike Maniscalco.
Yes.
So, exactly.
Love that.
So congratulations to the Big Rig.
Best hugger.
The voice. Man, that could be the reason he won.
It's probably
I'll have to find out.
That's the real reason.
I have to find out. Maybe we can bug Mike tomorrow. Big game tomorrow against the Dallas Stars. So, but congratulations to Mike Maniscalco. It's fun. I don't know how many years ago it was clerical error. I won. But since then, Mike Solarte.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my closest friends in the industry, had an opportunity to support him, and he won. Trip last year, Mike this year.
Look at that.
It's very, very cool.
Love it.
For people that you know so well, you know how hard they work, to see them get recognized for that. So,
love it.
Shouts.
Congrats.
Congratulations to Mr. Maniscalco, who when Trip was in the truck, Mike just had his feet up. You see that? It's great.
That's fantastic.
Just chilling. All right, good. Congratulations to Mike Maniscalco. All right. Earlier in this program, our first official program of the new year, because honestly, we really were just mailing it in on Friday. I mean, we're like Dante. You were like, Dante, I didn't even know I was supposed to be here today.
I didn't even know.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Anyway, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. We talked about the Panthers, and I am curious how he took it, because the Panthers makes the playoffs without winning because Atlanta closed the season out on this run, even though they had been eliminated a month ago, closed the season out and got to a tie to make it a three-way tie at 8-9. So is it the ultimate backdoor cover, or is it ball don't lie?
I think it's, ironically, the Panthers and then the Saints managed to backdoor cover in those games while also losing and setting up the scenario for the Panthers to get in.
Right.
I think it's probably more like, I think it's just like you just sort of back into, it's not a backdoor cover, you just backed into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it tells you like the fine line between the NFL, right? So the Falcons, who helped the Panthers get into the playoffs, finished tied for first in the division, even after being eliminated from the playoffs on December 7th, but then winning out and then fired their coach today. Meanwhile, Dave Canales, who, if he'd been eliminated on December 7th and then won out to finish first in the division at 8-9, maybe he, instead of hosting a home playoff game, he's looking for a new job. It's a real fine line, and it's, when you've got these division years where it happens like if not every year, it happens every couple of years where, a team with a 500 or below 500 record wins the division, gets to host a playoff game. Like, you really have to take advantage of them. And I don't know that the Panthers did that because, they got swept by the Saints. They had a chance to beat the Bucks and really, couldn't close out in that game. But they made it. And now you get to host the Rams. And you're a 9.5-point underdog or 10-point underdog, depending on where you look, against a team you've already beaten in Carolina once. So, it's they made it.
Yes,
they made it. I think that's all you can say about it.
I think, and I do think it is significant they get to prepare for one of these games, and I think it accelerates the development of Bryce Young, and maybe in this case more than Bryce Young, it accelerates Dave Canales's, because, man, I did not love some of the decisions that they made late, but it is what it is. I don't get the flea flicker when you get...
The flea flicker is one of the all-time dip-bleedery calls. I don't think I've ever seen a flea flicker called inside the 25. Like the entire point of the flea flicker is, and much less in the rain in a winter-going playoff game where you're like marching down the field. Like that was a impossibly stupid call, because the entire point of the flea flicker is to get it's like a early game deep shot from like behind midfield where you're trying to catch the like you just really need to have some open space for a flea flicker, and to do it in that area is like it's in the rain where like people the running backs have been slipping left and right, and you've been moving the ball down, just a horrible call. And quite frankly, like that call right there should have cost them the playoffs, and maybe should have got. I mean, like if that call, if the Falcons don't win, and the Falcons could have easily lost.
Yeah.
If the Falcons don't win, that call, that flea flicker, may well cost Dave Canales his job. I hope he reflects like heavily on that over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's maybe why he didn't scream, rant, and rave about, hey, you guys just cost us 7 yards on a play that you blew dead. No ball went out of bounds on the backward pass thing, but he was too busy getting the next play call in and the next personnel group because the Panthers wanted to keep alive their streak of not running the play clock down. Will Brinson joins us as he does.
They operate so slow.
Yeah, they do.
It's like it's sort of like the criticism that gets thrown at Sean Payton, who's like an all-time great play caller, is that like the Broncos run too slow because he's getting these long play calls in. I mean, like Bryce Young is like furiously clapping his hand with 2 seconds left on the play clock every time in a close game. That's a concern. I will say, I mean, look, the Panthers won 5 games last year. They won 8 games this year.
Yeah.
Now,
getting better.
You don't like they're not going to win 14 games in 2 years, more than likely.
Right.
But you made the playoffs. I think if your ownership, if your management, you can have concerns about what you're doing. You can have concerns about the quarterback position for sure. I do wonder a little bit if this kind of growth, 3 games last year, 3 games this year, sort of puts you in a tough spot from a managing the quarterback position long term. But we can talk about that later.
So here, my feeling is that the jury has not yet come in on both positions. I am more up on Bryce than I am on Dave. I think Canales, and I think the doubts that I have manifest itself in not only the ridiculous flea flicker call, but you got to have somebody back receiving the punt. You can't let the ball bounce and get downed inside the 2. Yeah, I mean, what if that punt is short, right? And it rolls for 25 yards. You did have somebody running back, which means that you understood. I didn't understand, and if you're going to rush 11, you better get to it. I don't know how you rush 11 and not get close to it.
It really felt like the Bucs are going to get a safety there to cover. It really felt that way. Right? Anybody who had the Panthers plus 2.5 certainly had to feel that way.
Will Brinson is joining us here. But we still saw some good things. I didn't like, obviously, the Bryce Young's interception. That was a left hash, right sideline. Late throw, ball kind of floated on him as well, and it led to 3 points. I mean, to me, that's the real mistake that Bryce made. The other stuff I really liked from Bryce. I thought he threw the ball well. Every time that they allow him to go, I think it shows that he can do it. And when they try to be too conservative or try to get cute, that's when things go sideways. But I did appreciate the way things went. Look, I think the Rams are. I know they're the 5 seed. I still think that they're the best team in the NFC, but they're going to have to do it on the road unless we have a whole bunch of wild cards win. But I still think they're the best team in the NFC. We'll see what happens. That's Will Brinson. We talked a lot of Panthers earlier today. One more shout out to Mike Maniscalco, who was named the North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year today by the National Sports Media Association, NSMA. Awesome. Absolutely thrilled that Mike is getting so recognized. Trip Tracy did it, got recognized last year. Kane's dominating. Absolutely dominating. So awesome. I did see, because I tweeted it out, and somebody said, we can't listen to him or watch him in North Carolina. I know that if you get your TV through YouTube or I think Hulu, right, though they do not have the FanDuel Sports Network.
Yeah, I
right?
have Dish, and I can't.
Okay, so there are places that don't have it, right? I'm a Spectrum house, and I used to be YouTube TV for a lot of reasons, and now I'm a Spectrum household. I'm not paid for that, but I've got FanDuel Sportsnet. So it all depends on how you get your TV. So you can, and not that anybody wants to, but if you want to pay I think it's $20 a month, there is an app. Again, I am not saying that you have to do this, but it is available to everyone. My in-laws are kind of, I think they're in between services.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Anyway, so you can watch. All right, one more shout out. North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame revealed their class for 2023 20, and it is just a bunch of bangers. Tyler Hansbrough is in. You go. He's now half of Carolina's basketball analyst rotate. All Tylers. Tyler Zeller, who has been on with us several times.
Right, lots of Tylers.
Right. Tyler Hansbrough, also part of it. Simply one of the best players in the history of UNC basketball. Former Florida State coach Leonard Hamilton, who has also been on this program, but he's a native of Gastonia, and also one of the nicest human beings ever. He goes in. I'm not going to do the entire class. It's a big class. But former PGA Tour golfer Chip Beck, who I actually had the privilege of playing a round of golf with, gosh, this is now 20 years ago, at one of the SAS championship events. I won the media tournament. You got to play with a pro, and it happened to be him. Also, one of the nicest human beings ever. Just super, super nice guy. Let's see who else. There's John Isner, tennis star. Richard Huntley, who was a running back at Winston-Salem State. He goes in. Kelvin Sampson, the current coach at the University of Houston, is a Pembroke, North Carolina native. First Native American coach, I think, to reach a Final Four. So he is, it's a pretty great class. So congratulations to all of those who got inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame. So a lot of really cool things to mention. All right, let me spend the last minute and a half. Hurricanes won a hockey game yesterday. I know Hurricanes Twitter can be a dangerous place. I don't encourage it. Don't. I got a text from a good friend yesterday who said, man, Canes Twitter's really living on the edge right now. Apparently there were suggestions, head coach got to go, GM's got to go, this player's got to go. I saw vitriol for Sebastian Aho. You realize he's been amazing like the last he went through some tough offensive stretches. He's not McKinnon, who scores, 2 points a game. It's crazy. But Aho's had a pretty good year. And I think he's having a better offensive year than he had a year ago. We're starting to see the real Sebastian Aho. Andrei Svechnikov has been great lately. The head coach is one of the best coaches in the sport.
Yeah, he ain't going anywhere.
It's just silly. But the Hurricanes won a game yesterday. They beat a good team in the New Jersey Devils on the road, coming after a very difficult loss to the Colorado Avalanche, where they committed a whole bunch of mistakes that ended up costing them a win. And they have done that a lot lately. Those will eventually go away, and you'll see the real Carolina Hurricanes. It might have something to do with Jacob Slavin not playing. I think they could use him. I could be crazy. Seth Jarvis, too. See what happens tomorrow. Thank you, Victoria.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donald.